Ebro in the morning. Rosenberg, Laura Styles had to jet out for a second. We have King Los with us today. Give it up. King Los. Yeah. Back on the program.
What's up?
What's up, sir? How are you?
I'm blessed, man.
You seem very excited. You seem ready to let this album go next week.
Yeah, it's actually like the prelude to the actual album.
So what is this? So explain to us exactly what we're about to get from Los.
I mean, well, you're about to get an experience unknown to man, first and foremost.
As we go,
had to hype it. Nah, man, you know it's a dope project. It was something that I was interested in doing, and then my counterparts, Jay Grand and RCA Records, decided to back me on it. You know, because it started initially as a mixtape idea, and then it just got great. You know, it just got out of the realm of just like. Well, it was never going to be senseless, but you know how mixtapes could be just to throw out. It just became very valuable at some point, and it was just necessary for it to be pushed and marketed the right way.
Well, I know it got serious because let me tell you what Jay Grant doesn't do. Call me about music, because he knows 90% of the shit that he would call me about, I tell him to get the fuck off my phone and leave me alone. But he called me and was like, hey, I was like, why is Jay Grant calling me? And then he said, yo, I really need you to pay attention to what King Los is doing, because you're really, as someone who loves hip-hop and true MCmanship, that's not the way I'm going to use it. That's not.
What just happened?
Let's go back. Lyrics.
What just happened?
True lyricism. Because seamanship didn't sound right. I didn't do when I was trying to say it, and then it went left. He was like, as someone who appreciates true lyricism and artistry, though, you're going to want to pay attention to what this guy's doing right now.
Yeah.
And then I you're still recovering from.
I can't get back.
Well, obviously Los last time he was over, it had to be October.
Yeah, so it was.
Last year, Ill Freestyle was well received.
Yeah, man.
Up here, and we appreciate you for that. And then the song and video War with Marsha Ambrosius dropped, and I started making phone. I started calling them.
Like, what's going on with this guy?
I was like, yo, fam, what's the plan? What are we gonna do out here? And that's why we have Who's Next happening on Monday over at SOB's. King Los is on that. Yes, for people who haven't seen you live, what's it like? Are you at the edge of the stage, bars? Is it visual? Like, what's the visual? Like, what are people gonna get from King Los when they go to see him live?
Yeah, I'm like futuristic past. You know, I'm like, every show I do something innovative and fresh and new. Every single show, I never do the same thing twice. But it feels like just it has the energy and the frequencies of the '90s. You know what I'm saying? It just feels like music.
So DJ and King Los, that's it. Drum machine, King Los, on the bars, what?
Or a band, you know,
going live band.
Or a band. It depends on like the venue a lot of times, but like I go band, man. You know, sometimes the band, I just have the band go and I just do freestyles and, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm a real MC, man. It's not a lot of MCs, you know. It's a lot of rappers and different things, but I'm really an MC. I'm really a master of the ceremonies.
You gonna get the crowd rocking, call and response. You gonna drop the bars. You gonna move between all.
It get real like Rakim,
yeah,
Kane. You know, it get like that, like late '80s. You know.
Who are your favorite MCs because people really do think of you when it comes to lyricism? Who are the guys that you most admire?
Well, to be honest with you, Big Pun.
My favorite.
Cannabis, early Eminem, Big L, and Nas.
The man cares about bars.
He likes rhymes.
There's no question about it with that list that you care about bars.
Yeah.
King Los, the song War, the video, very powerful video. If you haven't seen it, run your Googles. Talk about that song and what inspired you to make that song?
Well, all right. So this is how it goes. Basically, when I started making this project, there was a need just for a voice in general. Just something with more intrinsic value. And you could say that even like when you mention the songs like with the Ty Dollars and stuff, that's more so Jay Grant. You know, that's him understanding that whole world. I haven't jumped into that world yet.
And that's them trying to broaden your brand too, take you to an audience that may not.
It's something I could do. Like it's not like you said. It's easy. but it's harder for me to accept it.
Right.
It's easy to make, but that's another part of the thing. But when I'm still trying to figure out music in general, you know, and it's deeper for me. So when I was creating this music, I really said, what's the greatest approach that I could take as far as what's needed right now in this world, you know? Mind you, I made War before New Year's. So, Rosenberg, I'm way ahead. I'm on to something crazy.
Do you think I don't know that?
No.
I felt like
I'm
you was
just
coming at him. I was
sure
like, yo,
did.
I was like, yo, King Los, take him out right now.
I just like to speak direct.
Take him out.
I like to speak direct because, you know, I like to be suturing in my point making.
Okay, good.
But
Did he say sutured?
I don't even know what that means. He went.
It's like tied, like tight, like
Okay,
sutured, like
yeah.
a stitch, like a suture.
so what I'm saying
It's
is
very descriptive.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is I wanted to make music that listened back, because I feel like, being from Baltimore, I realized there's one thing that I understand about myself and people that are misunderstood. Unless you embrace them first, you can't really tell them shit about how to be or even how to fix something. You got to embrace them. And I'm like, how can I make music that's not like preachy? That's not like, hey,
You're doing wrong, change
and
this.
I'm doing right. You know, like, you got to understand, I'm probably the one person that made it out of Baltimore rapping. You know, there's been guys
Don't just skip by
who have been close.
Whoa Now by 40 dimes. What are we doing?
By 80 dimes.
That was 80. Was it 80?
Yeah, it was 80.
Sorry.
Damn.
It was 80 dimes.
I get confused about the amount of dimes.
The song made
Nice
it
try,
out.
bro.
No, I'm joking. No,
the song made it out.
Consistent artists didn't get out nationally.
With radio, the song made it out, you know, but I did like 4 tours. I was doing tours off mixtapes. Like, I had that real grind. I was doing 30 cities.
And was there anything else? Was there any other records that really got, even records, individual records that got
No,
out?
unless you count like Drew Hill, which is R&B.
They made it out, but that's straight R&B.
Straight R&B. So
That's it.
I came up with this concept of this, you know, the conversations I had with my boys. All my friends, I lost my first record deal to a Fed case. So everybody I know, like, I was basically like raised by kingpins. You know, it's all street. It's like they don't know anything else. You dig what I'm saying? And I was that one person, like literally like the story, like the one person who had a different perspective on everything. And even at one point when it was a lot of street money, I'm talking like in the millions, and it was a lot of like street fame. It wasn't enough for me. Because we were at
But what do you mean enough?
Like,
when you
we
say enough, you're not talking about the amount of money. You're talking about the
integrity
the
of it,
fulfillment of it.
Like, we were at a Jay-Z show, and my boy was like, "Yo, like, we got money like them," and I was like, "Yeah, but why we in a crowd? I'm not a crowd guy. Like, why we in a crowd?" I never went to another show after that in the crowd. I made that decision that day, that I would never ever, you know, and I mean, we shopping on Rodeo, like, we going to LA.
But it doesn't matter.
It don't matter. It didn't matter to me. So from that perspective, I'm having a conversation with my guy who's like stuck in the hood, and he's stuck in that mentality. And when I realized all the stuff that was happening in the world at this time, I reflected back to that time, and I was like, yo, this is really a war really about your soul. This ain't even about like oil. Like, who cares? What about your soul? Like, who cares, man? Like, everything is crazy, but who cares? What about your soul? Are you happy? Do you have peace? Can you raise your kids? Like, and that was the whole, so I was like, I made a verse of him just talking and me listening, and then me responding carefully on the second verse, and then going deeper into the conversation. And that's basically, you know, what War was. And as I was making it, all these clips was coming out. The guy drove to New York from Baltimore and shot 2 cops.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm playing the beat in iTunes, and then I see the link on WorldStar, and I click it, and the beat's playing at the same time, and it laid over the beat. And I was like, God told me this story will write itself. Stay humble, be wise, and let... God told me this movie will write itself. Stay humble, be wise, and let foolery fight itself, because it's a war going on. As I was making it. And I was just like, this is going to unfold as something different than than I've ever done. And sure enough, man, it's a lot of prophetic things in that, because that was over the New Year's when I wrote it, right? Baltimore Riots was like a month ago. You got to think how early I was, because the imagery in my video.
Yeah, it's old riot footage.
Check it out. The preacher that's on the TV screen is my preacher from back home. I've been living in LA for 5 years. My preacher from back home, Jamal Bryant. I called him and got approval because I wanted to put him on the TV screen. He was the one person on CNN, the entire riots, was Jamal Bryant. It's so much. I don't even want to get crazy, but it's so much. If you go look at that video, go look at the very end. Look at the very last scene. It's a lot of stuff in there that's deep. And it's like scary deep. But you know, I was talking to Pharrell, because I let him hear the record, him and Pusha, before I dropped it and before I dropped Ghetto Boy. And when I just was with him like last week, a couple weeks ago in the studio, I was like, yo, you think that's kind of crazy? Like the war thing and the whole thing, and then Baltimore and the whole thing. And he was like, man, let's call it what it is. It's prophecy. So it's like something deeper. So all these records that you're about to get are stuff that's been done like 6 months ago, 7 months ago. So I didn't make it because of Baltimore and this, that, and the third. And I didn't capitalize off of the moment. This was like foresaw. And it's kind of deep.
Where in Baltimore are you from?
West Side, Liberty Heights and Garrison, LNG. You know, then where Freddie Gray, where he was where the Brutality took place. I sat on those projects, Gilmore Homes projects, GHP, that's the projects, Dog Pound, I say it in my songs. I sat there with those kids. I know what it's like. Before I made it, I was out there. Like all my dudes are from there. Baker Street, we had a studio on Baker and Mount, and the feds ran in it and trashed it and wrote on the walls, if you don't like it, call the police. You know, it's always been a war between us. You know, even when you're trying to do something positive and make it out, it don't matter. So,
the climate of Baltimore, obviously, you go back, it was a booming town, it was a port town, it was, you know, hardworking people, factory jobs, like talking 50s, 60s, 70s. Then the jobs leave Baltimore.
It was kind of glamorous,
yeah,
in the 50s and 60s.
But then the jobs leave.
I missed that part.
Like Pennsylvania Avenue was popping.
Really?
It was the place. You know?
So your mom, your grandma, like generations have been in Baltimore?
Yeah, my whole family.
Forever.
Everybody. From Baltimore to like North Carolina.
So when you talk to them about what Baltimore was, right, before the jobs leave Baltimore, and then people are confronted with the reality, okay, we got to, by any means necessary, figure out how we're going to advance ourselves financially, and people resort to, that's how crime begins to happen. Jobs aren't available. People got to do what they got to do, and people start to sell.
Well, it's always,
and then it becomes a police situation where police are patrolling that neighborhood, disrespecting the people, and et cetera, lumping everyone into a criminal identity, because now police are here basically treating an entire community like they're full of criminals when it may only be a couple of individuals.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in that same situation where, you know, I'm coming back, you know, to be like visual inspiration. Because when you touch down, you got to go to the hood. I mean, there ain't too many parts that's not hood, but you got to go back to those people like they deserve it, because nobody makes it. So, you know, not to be braggadocious, but you got to show up to be like, yo, like this what it is. Like, because not even they're going to praise you. They still like, nigga, I remember when you ain't had nothing. You know, it's still that kind of thing. So you still got to show up just to be like, nah, man, this real.
But that's their way of saying, A, I miss you and I remember you when, and B, you know, don't forget where you came from and don't leave us behind. That's just a hood way of kind of like a dysfunctional way of showing love.
Yo, everything is dysfunctional there.
That's the key word is dysfunctional.
I had to tell the dude one time, like, yo, because he was like, yeah, but I'm saying, but you ain't nice like such and such. Like, you nice, but you ain't nice. And I said, yo, but such and such will never buy you a sandwich if you hungry. Like, if you needed a sandwich right now, I'd buy you a sandwich. You need a sandwich? He just shut up. Like, he had nothing to say. I think he needed a sandwich though. You know what I'm saying? And it's
And
just,
a hug, maybe a Coke and a smile.
and a big brother or a cousin, something. You know, but like my big brother's in jail, my younger brother's in jail. Like, it's real, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm really the one person. Like, it's crazy. So, you know, when I was making War, man, I just wanted to just embrace the fact that these are people I love. You know, I can't be just like, because I've learned something or found a new way, I can't just be like stepping on their necks about it. You know, I gotta just give them a hug and be like, yo, I could dig it, dude, but is it anything we could do different? You know?
So you do, in some ways, in your mind, hold people and people that you love in the area that you're from, like, all right, now, we have to also step our game up and improve our relations amongst each other.
Yeah, because since then we've had 100 shootings, 45 murders.
Since the riot.
Yeah, just in May.
Is that an irregular month?
It's gotten worse.
Yes, that's the worst. It's
worse than it's ever been.
Yeah. So because what happened is the police stopped policing now because they're upset about the Freddie Gray, the way it went. So they're like, okay, so we just won't police then, and that's their whole take on it now. So they don't want to police.
And is the what are the government officials, the commissioner, the mayor, the district attorney? What are they doing? Nothing.
Yeah, it's like they're just talking. They're just, you know, it's always been a bunch of talk because it's a system that's been for so long in place. So it's like they say what's necessary on the news, and then they keep it pushing. Like, everybody know what's going on. That's why the crime is so high right now. People feel like they could get away with it, do it. Cops don't care. Like, literally, they've taken the stance of like, okay, I responded to the call, but all right.
I'm not gonna go in here and be hands on. Something go wrong and then I get blamed.
But the whole thing is like, you know, if I can't abuse you, then I'm just not gonna police then.
Yeah,
because I don't want to be. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of ground in between there.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, like, I know good cops. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got family members that's cops. You know, and I know that there's good people, and I hear how they speak on it. So I hear their perspective too. You know, and it's like, all right, I get that, but like, you know, and they're like, you got to understand though, these kids will let it go though. You know, they have no problem. Because it's such a structural thing. There's no structure for them to even begin to care why they're doing it. That's the whole problem. Until you fix that, until you fix the households and.
So let's go to you then. You did time.
Here's where I come in.
Right, you did time, real time.
Like locked up.
Mm-hmm.
No, I avoided real time.
You avoided it.
I avoided real time.
And how did you get in that predicament, and why did you decide to go down that road? Like, when you think back to, I decided to do X, which at the time I knew was wrong, but that was the decision I made, and I took that risk, right? Which lost you your first record deal.
Yeah.
Right?
I realized it's purely influence. It's purely influence, but it's love. You gotta understand, man, like, at the end of the day, I don't care who you are. Everybody wants some love, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if you're a hater and you just hate all day. Even a hater wants some love.
As soon as you retweet that hater, they like, man, I just want to, you know what I mean?
You want other people to hate
retweet
with you.
Yeah.
You know, you want some love. And it's just like, those were the people that showed me love. When I had a dream of rapping, the people that came to me was dope dealers. And they had funding, you know?
Yeah.
And they was like, yo, listen, I'm telling you what I can do. And I'm like, I'm cool. And then dude pull up in a drop top and he's like, I'm telling you what I can do. And it's like, okay, what can you do? Because I'm looking around and can't nobody do nothing.
Right.
So these are the people I got close to. And then once you bond and once a dope dealer that really got money like trusts you, it's like an honor. And then you feel like, you know, it makes you feel like above, you know. It's like, man, he trusts me. He don't trust nobody.
And are you saying that, and oftentimes, and I've seen this before, but, you know, administration, teachers, political leaders, they're not showing that young kid who has dreams love unless they decide to go into doing things their way.
Man, listen, it's not that they not showing love. It's just that a lot of people don't know how to love, man. You know, it's complicated. People don't know how to love. It might be a teacher, it might want the best for you, but they don't really know how to display love on a level that you may need. Like you're coming to school and you ain't got no pops in the crib. Like pops locked up, mom's doped up, and your furniture just got sat on the curb like 3 days ago. You getting clowned by everybody in the school, and then the teacher's telling you like why your grades slipping. So then you start like cutting class, smoking weed, and then like during that whole process, you meet people outside. It's like, yo, what's up? Like, what's going on? What's happening? And then you like, you know, you in your woes, and then there goes the streets at 14. Because my dude that made millions from the streets, like one of the closest people I know, you know, that was with me, he started hustling at 12, bro. And when I talked to him about it, he's like, yo, it's because we got put out every time we had a new house. And he was like, and the rent was only $50 because it was Section 8. But his mom's was getting high. So it's like, yo, what you want me to do? I got no pops. What I'm going to do? Keep getting sat out, roaches running out. You know, it's like, it's real, bro. So it's like, it be like, purely influencing like that love that's shown to you right there, right then and there. You feel like that's the first real love you see. Like you don't get it in the household. It ain't there. And it's a lot of that going on. You know, even when you look at like the Freddie Gray situation, and all them kids is young. Like they out there. Like when I say out there, they out there. Everybody that rioted was like kids.
Yeah, 15.
It was
16.
not like grown people just sick of it. Cause a lot of times when you in your 30s and you kind of already accepted it. You like, man.
No, it's always the youth. I was talking to somebody yesterday. I was like, it's always college students, high school students that's ready to protest because they got time and energy.
I'm telling you that the craziest thing they told me, like, so like they FaceTiming me like from the riots, and the kid, and I'm like, so what's going on? Like, cause you know on the news they were saying that they were burning their own communities. Yo, 14-year-old kids is like, yo, that's lies. I said, so what was burning? Because I saw stuff on fire.
Right. So what did I see?
They said, yo, we was burning the liquor stores. They was like, we don't want that in our hood no more. It's it ruined our parents. It ruined these 14-year-old kids. They said, we burnt the liquor stores. I'm like, yo, that's brave and that's crazy. But like it wasn't just like malicious, just running and, oh, it's a riot, let's join. It was like, yo, they really like, you know, it was crazy just the logic that they had behind it. I was like, whoa, these are coming from 13 and 14-year-old kids, bro. This is deep. And war was just like right on time.
And the King Los project, which is on sale. God Money War, which is on sale next Tuesday.
6/23/15.
And is the project covering all of this?
Yeah, because the thing is,
and not specifically the Baltimore riot, because you said
that's an isolated incident.
Yeah, but your mindset, what you feel inside, the things you're talking about right now.
Basically, it's like it's foresight. It's all the stuff that I saw happening. It's all the stuff that I know could continue to happen. Look how many riots we had in the last couple years. This ain't nothing new. Ferguson, look at what's going on. So I was inspired by all the things that was going on around the world that I felt like, yo, like who's talking about this? Like, we can't keep talking about killing each other because, like, it's getting bad. Like, what's going to happen? Like, does anybody know, like, God? Like, it just got, you know, I came up in the church. So it's like I've always gave people a sense of God in my music without being, like, gospel. And I think that's, like, my strength. Because, like, once you start saying anything preachy or anything crazy, I'm like, dude, I did 80 times more than you did. I just don't care. That's not the part of my rap that I glorify. You know, I don't have to say that to be cool. I made smart cool. I made having a vernacular cool. Don Cheadle said when he listened to my music, it was the verbal acuity. I'm inspired by stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And I just have my integrity, you know? It means a lot to me.
And all of this is, once again, on this God Money War album.
It's on it, man. The song Glory to the Lord that we just dropped with R. Kelly, it's like it comes from that. It derives from that. The whole thing is just like, man, I'm grateful. Like, I'm from the bottom of the bottom of the bottom. Like, I'm grateful. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I give glory to God, and I just want to show people that at the end of the day, you could be a street dude and praise God, dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's not, I don't want you to feel so separated, you know, and I just want to embrace you, you know, because have something beyond this, beyond people, because they will always fail you, bro. You know what I'm saying? And that's the main thing in the streets. You could do everything right, and two people do everything left, and you gone for the rest of your life with no chance. So it's like, come on, man, you got to have something outside of that to have faith in. And once you do that, it'll show you that, like, yo, this is cool, but this ain't, what is this? This ain't even nothing. And then you just want to move bigger and think bigger and dream bigger. Like I said, my younger brother and my older brother in prison, I must have been thinking different. Because my dad got killed when I was 16. So to be honest with you, it was really set up for me to fail. But I just chose otherwise, man, and I was very tenacious in my approach. Like, I just was not giving up. I lost my first deal. This was like 07. Well, I got my first deal in like 05, had it, and then lost it. Got it in like 06, lost it in 07, right before we was like about to put the album together. And it took 6 years after that for me to get like discovered again. And I'm in them trenches out there in Baltimore. You know, you just got to see it on the news. It's crazy. It's like that every day, you know? So it took a lot, man. It took a lot to stay like, to feel like every day was going to be the day and not be depressed and quit, or just be like, yo, man, just give me a pack of dope and let me just move this and I can make money. Like, I was broke. Don't get it twisted. I ain't look broke at all, but I was like, yo, it got to happen. And then I remember the day that I was about to be like, yo, all right, I don't know if this going to happen. I was like home on the couch, like watching 106 in Park, and it was like another new artist and another. And I'm like, yo, I don't know if it's going to happen. And then Ernie called and was like, yo, I think Puff wants to talk to you. And I was like, huh? What? Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Was that when I met you in the parking lot outside of what was that? We was over at Daddy's house right there.
Well, yeah,
you had your CD in your hand.
Nah, somebody gave me a CD. Yeah, I don't never carry CDs. Like, somebody gave me a CD like to listen to, cause like people see me and feel like I can help them.
Right.
So like I was walking somewhere and some dude gave me a CD like, yo, Los, listen to this. You know, cause people always knew me. Like I put 15, 16 mixtapes out.
Yeah.
I got 16. I got so much work out there, man. Like, I've been doing this for a long time. So it's like people always knew me. Nobody took me and was like, yo, you're the guy. Let's go. You know, it took so much, man. I just feel like it's a Baltimore thing. Like, it's never been easy for people from where I'm from. And I'm learning. The more I grow, the more I see new stuff. I'm like, yo, I was so closed off in a space, even emotionally. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just crazy. Like, everything I'm seeing right now is just, it's very enlightening and refreshing, and that's what this project is about. And that's why I had to get this out before I really jumped into doing my album. I had to get this off my chest, because I felt like not only does the world need it, but it's a piece of my art that I want people to cherish and get, like, you know, 5 years from now, because people be late.
His name is King Los.
For a reason.
Who are other features on the album before we wrap up this interview? You have Ty Dolla $ign. We know about R. Kelly.
We got Isaiah Rashad on there. I didn't do a lot of features though.
That guy is good.
Yeah,
Isaiah Rashad guy. He's a good rapper. That guy.
Have you heard him?
I've heard the freestyles and things that he's done.
He's a dope artist. He's an artist.
Yeah, he's the full. There's
like, dude was hitting high notes.
Oh, he's a singer.
Behind his verse, like he's rapping his verse and he's hitting like 60s high notes.
Ad-libs in the back, runs.
Yo,
yeah,
and I'm like, yo, okay.
Riffs.
He's crazy with it.
Yeah.
And that's on a song called Black Blood. That's on the
album's Tuesday.
Yeah.
I think this was good talk, man.
Yo,
I really like when you come by, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate you, man. I really do.
We gotta get aggressive on this guy over here. What's going on with this guy?
By the way, this guy wanted to get aggressive, but this fucking guy has talked for the last 30 minutes, so we don't have time to get aggressive because I want to do that.
You got it.
No, we don't. This was amazing. I didn't want to stop any of this. People needed to hear every word he just said, but then I want us to have a rap conversation. I'll keep it fucking 1,000. I'm totally late on Los. When I first found out you were from Baltimore, it was already late. Like, I was just late. See, listen, guys, I spent a lot of time on music.
You missed one.
No, not one. I'm late 25% of the, you know what I'm saying? You can only be.
Let's go. Let's go. You're late.
It ain't your fault though.
Well, I'm late to work. 75,
Hey,
90.
Rosenberg, but in your defense, I don't feel like it's your fault because I feel like where you are, you're not absolutely out in the trenches, but you're the voice for them.
Well, and the only trenches I get close to are the ones here now.
That's what I'm saying.
So there,
at the end of the day, I feel like there's a lot of people who miscarried information and misused certain power. Because when I was coming to New York, you know, I sat with a lot of people. I sat in a lot of meetings with people who was like, "Oh my God, it's dope," and then did nothing, and then went to sign other people who aren't even relevant right now. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you are going to notice. Well, I've started playing. I started with I've been going hard with Can't Fade Us for the last 8 weeks or whatever it's been. You're gonna see it not even musically. Yes, I heard. First of all, it started when you did maybe the Control verse, and then people started being like, "Yo, are you aware that this dude's one of the best rappers in music? I think you should know that." People would tell me like, "You would love Los. You're missing it." People started telling me.
And in the Lupe Fiasco interview when we had him up here,
that was interesting.
Well, no, it's crazy because Los reminds me of Lupe, except I like Los.
Shout out to Lupe.
Shout out to Lupe. He drives me fucking crazy. But
he won't come up here. He didn't.
Yes, he will.
He didn't come up on his last album.
No, he didn't call us last time. He got too mad about how much I love Kendrick. I love Kendrick too much. Well, guess what, Lupe? I now love Los as well. So
turn up, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Turn up, man. We got we family now, man.
Tuesday, the album's out. We'll see you Monday night, SOBs.
King Los.
I'm in the building.